I'm Yuri.
I'm Jacob.
We're going for a drive. '20 Nissan Titan
Pro-4X without launch control.
Hill climb?
Yeah, let's try it. That's pretty easy.
No issues. Horsepower and torque.
400 horsepower, 413 pound-feet of torque from a 5.6 liter V8.
And as you may have noticed, we are at TheStraightPipes Ranch. But back to the horsepower, is this the most in class?
Yes, Nissan claims that it has most power in class, most safety features in class, and most technology in class, apparently.
So what are the main competitors for this?
This would be the F-150, the Ram 1500, Tundra, that kind of stuff. Oh, fuck.
And the Silverado?
Yeah, Silverado. And I should mention that you only get 400 horsepower on 91 octane. On 87, you get about 10 less horsepower. So that's where the new power figure comes from.
Okay, so let's start this off with the looks and what this is, because this kind of looks like a Raptor to me.
Okay, it's kind of a Raptor competitor, but at the same time, not at all. It's more on par with the Tundra TRD Pro.
So looks-wise, the front end, we've got a matte black grille up there.
And then we have lava red for the Nissan logo.
And then we've got really cool DRLs, probably better than everything else in the class.
They are razor sharp and I really like them.
And then we've got a skid plate at the bottom and red tow hooks in there.
Yeah, that's the part that kind of looks Raptor-ish, but yeah, the lava red tow hooks.
Overall, the whole front end looks awesome. It does say Titan up there. I really like the looks.
And it even says Pro-4X in the grille, but it's like pretty hidden.
And then when you're looking at the side view, the first thing you notice is we have that sport bar at the back.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool from the... Whoa! Okay, we are off-road. It looks pretty cool from the side. It does say Titan in it, but overall, I think I would probably delete that.
No, that was what makes it look so cool and Raptor-ish.
Well, the Raptor doesn't have one.
Yeah, I know, but it adds to the off-roadiness look of it.
It does, kind of.
And then from the side, we also have black fender arches, but they're like kind of weak. They're not fully complete, and like they don't fully connect even with the front bumper.
Yeah, and especially around the gas tank, I found that one hilarious. Like they just kind of notched it in there.
Yeah, it definitely looks a little bit incomplete. And then we also do have side step running boards there.
Yeah, so I think they made a bad decision with the type that they put on here because they lower the actual clearance by quite a bit, and then they also stick out. So if you were gonna take this rock crawling, you'd probably get caught up on these a little bit.
Yeah, but after taking this off-roading a little bit through TheStraightPipes Ranch, it's probably not the kind of truck for that, but we'll get into that later.
Yeah, it's really not, but anyways.
And this is a full-size crew cab.
Yeah, and in Canada, they don't actually offer anything smaller than this. You can only get the crew cab.
But like overall, side dimensions looks really good. What do you think of the wheels?
The wheels are pretty nice. They're not like too special, but they fit the truck.
And then what is the general recommended tire?
The General Grabber APT, which is what we're rolling on. And for those of you confused, Continental owns General.
And then what kind of tires do you have on your Raptor?
I have General Grabber ATXs, slightly more off-roady than these ones.
And then moving on to the back end, the first thing I noticed is we've got that black thing across the tailgate, which makes it look exactly like a Raptor.
Yes, it does, which obviously makes it look pretty good.
Like,
and
from a distance, I actually thought it was a Raptor. It does have that silhouette, but I'm like, I don't think the Raptor comes in this tan color.
no, exactly. It used to in the first generation.
And then what do you think of the taillights? Because I think they look really good. They've got a cool design, whether they're on or off.
Yeah, I really like the taillights actually for a truck. They look pretty nice.
And then do we have a gimmicky tailgate or anything?
No, it's just regular tailgate and it's very well damped. It's actually pretty light to lift up and put down.
And then we got a side step to get into the back on the side of the rear bumper.
Yeah, it's a cool little addition. You just kind of kick it down, but again, you lose a little bit of ground clearance on that one corner.
But so far through TheStraightPipes Ranch, with our messing around on these pretty bumpy paths, whatever.
Yeah.
It hasn't really caught or like caused any trouble.
No, not too many crazy angles here.
And then now moving down to the exhaust, it is on the passenger side sticking out, and it does sound really good because this is a V8.
Yes, it does, so let's have a listen.
So overall, looks-wise, definitely one of the best looking trucks, but maybe overperforms in the looks department compared to the driving department. And then exhaust-wise, probably also the best sounding in class.
It's really good. It's up there with the Tundra TRD Pro.
And then briefly moving inside before you start driving, we do have a good infotainment screen finally in a Nissan. It has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, rewinding satellite radio stations.
And it's all really high res.
Yeah, except for the reverse camera
Oh.
and the front camera, which will show the front wheel. Besides that, they've actually got their infotainment up to the standards of 2017 Hyundai Kia, which was the best for a while, which are now going downhill because they added a whole bunch of LCD buttons.
And this isn't even that laggy. Like, they've actually deleted the lag. They've improved so much with this infotainment.
And then we got a volume knob, tuning knob, hard buttons for everything, hard buttons for all your climate stuff, your heated seats, your cooled seats, traction, parking sensors, your safety halo. It's actually very, very good. And the sound system, it's Fender.
Yeah.
Usually in a Volkswagen, you get Fender and you're kind of like, okay, whatever. This is actually such a good sound system.
It is banging. Love playing my rap music in here. And as for the gauges, they're very simple. They kind of remind me of the Ram gauges, the color and the font. But in the middle, we have a little bit of off-roadiness because you can see your angles and all that kind of stuff. You can see your diff locks and your 4x4s, your 4x2s.
Yeah, they're not missing anything, but it's also not super special. But not everyone needs to be super special. They just need to kind of get it right, I think.
Yeah, I think they did a really good job of updating this truck.
So with that interior stuff out of the way, there's more to talk about. I'm gonna Baja you into the driver's seat.
Oh, I'm kind of nervous about Bajaing through this. Here we go.
This is not what I want.
Okay, so now let's talk about the suspension. You get Bilstein dampers on this, and I don't think they got the compression in the rebound right because off-road, going through a lot of this kind of stuff, it's very jumpy and bumpy and like, it's just not well damped.
We've also driven a Ford F-150 through here, and it feels like you're getting bunny hopped out of your seat a lot more in this than doing it in the Ford at the exact same way you're driving.
Yeah, so this is a lot more bouncy. Now on the road, this is very comfortable, and I was expecting a lot for it off-road, but off the road, it's so bouncy. Like, they just did something with the compression and the rebound that's not quite right.
But say you're not full sending it through stuff, it'll handle pretty much all the terrain just fine. And since it's very comfortable on the road and looks really cool, I think they did a really good compromise all around.
Yeah, so it's kind of almost like a rock crawling kind of thing rather than like a Baja Raptor type of suspension, even though the look is definitely a Baja type look.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the Raptor and the ZR2 that's like ready for Baja-ish stuff.
Yeah, and this paint color that we mentioned earlier, it does have Baja in the name even.
Okay, but it's like Baja line.
Yeah, I guess. All right, let's see if I can drift this corner with the traction fully off in 4x2. No, the traction still kicks in, and that's the thing. I can't get it to fully turn off.
And we've got the parking sensors off, the safety halo off, the diff locked and traction off. It just like won't do it.
Yeah, I've tried pressing it, I've tried holding it. It doesn't fully turn off, which is pretty annoying.
Maybe there's a way, but we couldn't figure it out. Oh.
No. And the traction control system, which appears to be off, is a little bit intrusive going up the hill. So now I'm going to attempt to climb the hill again, just like Yuri did, but I'm gonna go a little bit slower. I'm gonna keep it in 4x4, 4 high, and we'll see what the traction control system does up the hill. So I'm gonna slow down in the middle of it, and then you'll be able to see it kind of kick in, and I'm gonna floor it, and you'll see nothing happens. So right now, slowing down, now I'm gonna floor it. You see how it's like varying? Because it's like simulating an LSD basically.
Yeah, I don't really know what it's doing, but it gets up every time.
It does, it hasn't failed on us, so that's good.
And does this have hill descent assist?
Yes, it does. So let's try that out now on Murder Mountain. Okay, 4 high, hill descent control is on. It's not flashing. Let's let go of the brakes. There, it's working. Okay.
Oh,
That's pretty damn good. My foot is completely off of every pedal.
Oh, this is nice and controllable.
Yeah. Okay, so hill descent works. 22 degrees, 23 degrees of forward angle.
Nice.
Okay, so hill descent control works flawlessly, I'd say. I'm gonna turn that off and back into 2-wheel drive. So now I'd like to talk about this engine and transmission, which are fantastic. That is the best part of this truck.
CVT, right?
Yeah, right. Whoever designed this 9-speed auto put this in every Nissan except the GTR. But you probably also worked on the GTR because that transmission is also fantastic. Whoever did this needs a raise. It's honestly amazing. It almost feels like sports car quick on the road. And the engine pulls really hard. It's a V8, there's no lag. Truck people love V8s, so I'm glad that Nissan just gave people a naturally aspirated V8.
And there's no paddles to control this, but you can go up or down for the gear on the shifter, which is a column shifter.
It's a massive column shifter, and then we also have a tow mode. But the funny thing is, it's so massive that it actually blocks your rear defroster, so you can't see it, you have to look around it.
But in the button's defense, I feel like you put on your defrost when you get into the car, because that's when you start it, and it'll be in park. You'll notice the back is frosty, you'll be like, I should click this button.
Okay, but if I want to adjust my climate control, I have to shove my hand through the tow mode and then almost miss it. Come on. Bad design, Yuri. Bad.
Agree to disagree.
And the other thing that I noticed on the road is that the steering is way too light. It's really good for this slow speed off-roady stuff, but it's so over boosted that I'm constantly making adjustments on the highway.
I found that it was light, but I didn't think it was nearly as bad as a Jeep Rubicon. Because like a Jeep Rubicon, like I really noticed and it bothered me. This, I didn't really notice until you brought it up that it was pretty light.
Yeah, for me it was equivalent, if not worse in this. So to sum up all the off-roadiness of this truck, it's very good for lower speed stuff, not the best for higher speed stuff, even though it's Baja-inspired look and design.
Baja-inspired paint color name.
And the look, come on.
I mean, a lot of stuff has skid plates, a lot of stuff has red tow hooks.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you even said this looks like a Baja truck in the beginning.
Yeah, but like, you know, whatever.
And before we move on to the interior, let's talk about towing. This can tow just over 9,000 pounds, which is not the best in class. It's, I believe, the worst in class. But you can still tow jet skis, so whatever.
Yeah, that's really all that matters.
Exactly. So now let's talk about this interior.
Okay, some really cool stuff that it has. It has the cell phone holder slot, just like the Dodge Ram, and it also has a cup holder there too, which will fit a cup of coffee just fine. But what's cool is you can pull these things out and switch the spots. Customizable cup holders.
It's totally modular.
That is very cool. And then you can take all that out. Then you have a ton of room below. You have a ton of room in this armrest compartment with more stuff that comes out. And you got these little slots here. Lots of compartments for lots of cool stuff.
And then down here near the cup holders, we also have heated and cooled seats because this is the luxury trim of the Pro-4X.
And you get USB and USB-C.
Yeah, thank you for providing both in this transitionary period.
Okay, and then how about the visors?
Let's find out. Those are big.
3, 2, 1.
Yes, full pass.
pass.
Good job, Nissan.
And how about the back seat room?
Fantastic, but not as good as Ford's crew cabs.
Yeah, a lot of room for 5'8.5". You'll be fine.
Yes, even 6'1.5". But the coolest part of the back seats is all the storage underneath the seats, as well as the part that folds out to make a flat load floor.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and there's lockable compartments as well. Then, if we look at the dashboard, we do have a lot of nice soft textures, cool materials. We've got like a brushed steel carbon fiber looking thing. Oh, God. And then we've got cool like orangey red stitching that also matches the Nissan logos on the outside.
That's right.
And on the steering wheel.
And speaking of the steering wheel, it's so thin. Like, that's the daintiest part of this truck.
But we did just get out of a BMW, and those have like really thick steering wheels.
But not to bring up my own truck, I'm going to bring up my own truck. This is so dainty in comparison to feeling like my own truck.
But what's cool about the steering wheel is all the buttons are very easy to use, and it's all black. It looks very badass for a steering wheel.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, not every steering wheel needs to look badass or not, but it doesn't look not badass.
And then we've got hard buttons on it, and they all function actually pretty well.
Yeah, the only thing that sucks is to go through your favorites on the satellite radio, you need to change your gauge screen to the favorites screen and then go up and down. That's the only way to toggle through your favorites.
And now talking about these seats, these are zero gravity seats, and they're so comfortable.
So space seats?
Yeah, well, now NASA's sort of back in space with SpaceX, so yeah.
NASA inspired, SpaceX inspired, Elon Musk inspired. I don't know what they're gonna call it anymore.
Oh, they're gonna milk Tesla. They're gonna say Tesla inspired or something.
Yeah, I doubt. Okay, and then we've also got this cool, huge moonroof.
Yeah, it's actually massive.
Then the back window opens up just like every other truck.
And back to more on-road stuff, there is no lane keep assist. It's only lane departure warning, but we do have adaptive cruise, which is nice. And if you're in America, you can get different trims and different bed lengths depending on which Titan you order. The Pro-4X has a very specific trim in Canada.
So I think that pretty much covers the Nissan Titan. Let's get to the price.
It starts at $50,498
Canadian.
and this one is optioned out to $69,998.
I feel like that's right in the line with every other truck.
It kind of is, actually.
So do you think that's good value? Like, would you take this over any of the other trucks?
I would definitely consider it for its drivetrain and its general looks.
Yeah, I think I'd still want to end up with a Ram Rebel.
I think the Ram Rebel is definitely best in class right now because the Raptor is out of that class.
But this is probably nicer inside and everything than Tundra.
Yeah, oh, for sure it is, and it's more updated.
And
I like
it
this
looks nice too.
Yeah, and I like the drivetrain better in this than the Tundra, which is shocking because that's got like a 6-speed. It's so dated at this point. We liked it, but this is like a better dated version of that kind of same idea.
And I did spend a lot of time in the Silverado Trail Boss when I was out in Prince Edward Island. I feel like I kind of like that one a little bit more than this. Like, that felt more solid.
But looks-wise, since I haven't actually driven one, I think this looks a lot better than that disgusting thing.
I mean, I like the Silverado looks too, so I think this might edge it out by, no, edge it out by a lot, but the Silverado Trail Boss still looks really cool in my eyes.
So let us know what you guys think of the new Titan Pro-4X.
Were you surprised at how much we liked it?
And guess what the next video is? Right here. It could be Tuesdays or Fridays, because that's the next video. We don't know what day it is today.